Hey everybody, you may have heard of a trend in the diet and nutrition world in recent years where people take a position where they disrespect seed oils completely. They have a total disrespect of seed oils and they don't consume them. And there are multiple reasons for this. Seed oils are basically an industrial waste, equivalent to consuming an industrial waste product, especially when they're heated for days on end in a fryer in a restaurant. They're full of omega-6 fatty acids, which are inflammatory and not good for you. What you really need is omega-3. There's a whole bunch of reasons why you should just totally disrespect seed oils and consume as few of them as possible, if not zero seed oils in your diet. You'll be much healthier if you do that. It involves you reconceptualizing diet a little bit. People who are used to consuming these quote-unquote traditional foods, which have actually only been in our diet for 300 to 400 years, may have to reconsider the things that they're eating on a regular basis and what they consider to be a normal diet. But anyways, it's not that hard to adopt a position of total seed oil disrespect, or TSD, in your diet. Now, there is something else that's sort of coming onto the scene. That's where you have total disrespect of retinol and copper, right? So let's pick that apart a little bit, right? Retinol, when you say retinol, you're not just referring to the molecule retinol itself, but all of its precursors and all of its metabolites, where its precursors are other chemicals that come from plants, and then animals convert it into retinol, and then its metabolites such as retinaldehyde and various types of retinoic acid. So there's a whole sort of spectrum or metabolic pathway of this substance, of this class of substances. So generally we're talking about all of those things. We're not talking about just one. We're not saying, oh, there's not really a difference in terms of how the body reacts to one form of beta carotene or retinol or retinoic acid versus the others, right? Also, the popular acne medicine that kills a lot of people, known as Accutane, I believe that is actually 13-cis-retinoic acid, which is it's endogenous, it's created by the body. Basically, Accutane is just a massively high-dose vitamin A supplement, which is why it kills so many people. Anyways, so you may be wondering, why do people disrespect retinol and copper if they're supposedly essential nutrients that the body needs and you will die without them? Well, that's where a little understanding of nutritional research comes into play. You may have heard of a famous philanthropist named famous philanthropist called Rockefeller, right? Of course, there's a whole family of Rockefellers, but anyways, basically, David Rockefeller funded a lot of the original initial nutrition research. And when they first imagine you discover this substance in food, and you're like, well, this is obviously very, very toxic. All the studies we've done that we haven't released yet are showing anytime you have more of this in your body, you have worse health results. It's obviously quite toxic. Anytime you have less, you have better health results. But of course, the people who were doing the initial nutrition research were trying to find ways to make money. They weren't doing it out of their love for humanity or to help children not go blind or whatever. They were doing it to try to figure out things they could extract from food and then convince governments to fortify products with them, so they have an endless stream of customers, governments, and people buying these isolated chemicals because they think it's good for them. So, of course, they designed a study diet that was deficient in zinc and low in retinol or beta carotene. So this study diet had people consuming a diet, or animals consuming a diet, whatever, that was very low in zinc and retinol. And of course the people got really sick because the diet was deficient in zinc, but they didn't say that in the study. They only mentioned that it was deficient in retinol. Therefore they said this must be an important nutrient for the body, therefore da-da-da-da-da. And fast forward 100 years now, or however many years it was, now you have government agencies parroting everywhere that if you don't consume this, you will go blind, etc., etc. My grandma told me when I was a kid that carrots are good for your eyes, right? No, I've been consuming a diet extremely low in vitamin A and all forms of it for 4 years. My night vision has improved significantly. And I noticed this because I actually haven't driven really for a long time. I lived in South America for 9 years and I didn't have a car there, so I drove occasionally someone else's vehicle. Certainly I drove a quad around the farm and stuff, but I didn't really do like night driving in a car like I did in the US. And I remember when I was like 20, driving a car in a rainstorm at night. And basically, it would be hard to see. It would be kind of stressful if it was pouring rain and the lines on the road were painted kind of poorly because it was a construction zone. It was not, my night vision was not that great, And fast forward now, I start driving again a few months ago because I came back to the U.S. Well, sorry if the camera's bouncing around all now. I'm on a bumpy road now, so. Fast forward now, I'm driving at night and middle of a rainstorm, really poorly crisscrossing lines across the highway in a construction zone, going fairly high speed to keep up with traffic. And it's fine. I don't feel stressed at all. I can see the lines very easily, can figure out where I am very easily, can find where the lane is. It's a huge difference. Not to mention a bunch of other things have changed. My voice has changed somewhat and got a little bit deeper. My singing range has increased in that I could sing lower and higher than I used to be able to, 4 years ago. A bunch of other things have happened that would be too many to list. I could just go on and on about all the health improvements that I've gotten, and I know other people that have gotten similar health improvements from cutting retinol and copper out of their diets as much as humanly possible. Now, can you cut those things out of your diet completely? No, it's impossible. It's impossible. Those things do exist. The problem is in the past, however many years, decades, even century, people have been pushed into consuming high amounts of those things. People are told that dark chocolate and nuts are good for you. Those are extremely high in copper. People are told you need to eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow was a phrase that didn't even exist until a couple of decades ago. It started being used in there was a PBS program, there were some commercials. Now before that, there was really no push for people to eat colorful vegetables and fruits. Things that were very high in beta carotene, which your body converts into even more toxic substances. There has been a big push for it, and not only are people supposed to be consuming more bright yellow and orange foods, most of which didn't even exist during most of human evolution, we're also fortifying those things. So we're fortifying dairy products, we're fortifying vegan plant milk products, we're fortifying a lot of different things with vitamin A. And again, if you look at the actual science, there's not much difference in the effect on the body between the quote-unquote synthetic form that they use in some supplements. Actually, most vitamin A supplements are just cod liver oil, totally not synthetic at all. But according to the actual data, the body does not react differently to different... there's not one form of vitamin A that's way worse than the others. So that's basically how you should check out Grant Genereu's blog, ggenereux.blog, GENEREUX.blog, and he's got 3 free PDF ebooks, and I would definitely recommend the one that's called Extinguishing the Fires from Hell, especially if you are dealing with eczema or pruritus or psoriasis or one of those horribly itchy skin disorders. It can also help you greatly if you have IBS or any form of IBS. It can help women with period problems and pregnancy complications. It can help with a lot of different things, because those are the 2 most toxic things that that the government really and philanthropists are pushing in people's diets. Bill Gates spends millions of dollars trying to get people in Africa to get more vitamin A in their diet. He developed this GMO rice that's supposed to contain lots of beta carotene, because supposedly people in Africa are not getting enough beta carotene. But if you look at the data, there was one liver biopsy study they did in Africa a long time ago, and half the people were toxic in vitamin A. So, it's kind of crazy the world we live in and how much disinfo and psyops there are. Now, some people who are into sort of the conservative worldview might be questioning why I'm saying this, because they all follow the Weston A. Price Foundation, which of course heavily promotes consumption of lots of liver and also things like cod liver oil. It's interesting to note that Weston A. Price himself said that, now I disagree, but he said that cod liver oil was good only when it's fresh, and after that it's rancid and should never be consumed. Now, of course, the Weston A. Price Foundation discovered they can make money selling cod liver oil, so they just ignore that and they sell rancid cod liver oil to people. Now, I disagree with him in that I don't think it should be consumed at all. It's extremely high dose retinol. A lot of people say they simply feel worse after taking it. You might get a stimulant effect at first while taking it, but eventually you're just going to feel worse. And all you're doing is causing your liver to accumulate more vitamin A. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of other sort of misconceptions and nutritional ideas regarding retinol and copper in the body that I could address, and maybe I'll make like a frequently asked questions video. But I want to keep this video not too long, and it looks like I'm already at 10 minutes, so maybe I should just mention quickly regarding copper. If you notice that you are extremely sensitive to lights, noises, if you get irritable, if you're irritated for no reason, if you get mad all the time, if you are wondering why like those noises are just bothering you, and you get like, you know, sensory overload very easily, you're probably toxic in copper. Your nervous system is just too reactive because of so much copper. So then you can work on cutting out things in your diet that are high in copper, such as nuts, chocolate, liver, and of course you should oysters, some seafood as well. Don't eat seafood at all ever. It's very toxic and contaminated. And then you can also take a zinc picolinate supplement. Now, I'm not giving official, this is just my layman's opinion. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not providing medical information here. So I always, of course, you know, refer to a trusted medical professional, not me. But hey, if I had these issues, this is what I would do. And I would take a zinc picolinate supplement. I would experiment between maybe 15 and 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate and see what I felt better on. Obviously, you take 50 and you feel bad, you should lower it significantly. If you take a small dose and you don't feel much, then you could try taking more. Don't keep taking more until you feel bad. That's just a bad idea. But anyway, that's all I gotta say for now, folks. Remember, retinol and copper should be totally disrespected, if not as much as seed oil, definitely almost as much as you're currently disrespecting seed oil. And giving this information out so everyone can improve their health. Have a great day, folks. Subscribe to my channel.